I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen. The season finale of season 1 of Horribly Hollywood Single. I am your host, Adam Carr. I'm getting over just a little bit of a man cold, so my voice is actually sexier, lower, more mature. Dare I say, I finally went through puberty, and I did it just for today. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's been 10 episodes. It's been absolutely wonderful. Kevin Undergaro, I just want to thank you so much for giving me the idea to come here, do this show. We started literally the first week in November. I got engaged, and I launched this show at the same time. It's been absolutely nuts and crazy. I just want to thank everybody for being a part of that. Jeff Graham in the booth, the married voice of reason. I just want to thank you, Jeff, because I feel like we're really moving forward to something positive.
We sure are, Adam. It's been a pleasure. I can't believe, first of all, how fast it's gone. Second of all, the number of wackos you've had in this studio has been wonderful, and it's been great.
And let me tell you, the wackos, they just improve. Because today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited for the season finale of Horribly Hollywood Single. This guy is a gem. He's absolutely wonderful. You might recognize him as the chef, Oleg here from Two Broke Girls. He's got a hit podcast, Kites of the Round Table, that you can check out on iTunes. He's known for over 120 celebrity voice impressions. He's absolutely brilliant. My dear friend, Mr. Jonathan Kite. Welcome, good sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
By the way, I always think about that because news broadcasts, they start. Thank you for having me, by the way.
Of course, thank you for being here.
An absolute pleasure. But they start looking at the camera, and one person is talking, and the other one. It is, I think, hard to
It's hard to just stare.
To just stare without looking like, is he thinking of killing the other guy?
Right.
Or like, there's creepiness in there just because it's like you were sort of thanking, and I'm just sort of like, they're like, what? Like. I just imagine the audience sort of like drifting over to be like, what's going on with that other guy?
Let me tell you something. It's a little awkward sometimes because automatically it's like improv, right?
Right.
You're
yes,
right
and
here.
It
yes,
is.
and yes, and I just want to introduce you right away. But then I feel like, well, I have to say hi and introduce the show because then if someone's tuning in for the first time and they're like, what the hell is this? Oh, wait, Jonathan Kite. Oh, is this Jonathan Kite show? Certain things. So I'm always like, oh, wait, talk about the show. Oh, wait, do this real quick. Oh, wait, introduce the guest. I don't get how certain people do it. What do you do on yours?
I start off every Kites of the Round Table by doing the intro, going like, good afternoon, welcome back to Kites of the Round Table. And then I make up 2 or 3 fake commercials.
Oh, that's
Or
good.
I go hosted by Jeffrey Kite and Jonathan Kite, and then I make up like brought to you by bees, like whatever, and then I'll just like make up a honey flower, and then I'll just go off like they did in the old 40s or classic radio, and then we sort of like, and then that propels a conversation forward. So we don't really prepare anything.
Yeah.
And then my cousin, who's the co-host, Jeffrey Kite, takes it off, the ball rolling from there.
Well, let me tell you something. It's interesting to me because you do voice impressions. You do them so well.
Oh, thanks, man.
You're Vince Vaughn, Ian McKellen. Just rattling off a few here that are. If I wasn't Jason Statham, like if I wasn't looking at you, I would not be able to tell gun to my head if it was really them or really you. And then I feel terrible because it's like friends of mine who are magicians. Sometimes I ask them to do card tricks. And then I can tell that they're annoyed because they're like, dude, I'm a person. I don't want to just come here and do a thing. Like, like if your friend's a stand-up, you don't want to go, hey, tell a joke. Because you're like, that's annoying.
But I definitely think that impressionists and magicians are sort of, they're cousins. Because it's a trick at a party,
right?
Which took like a magician, maybe 2 years to learn.
Exactly.
And so it's the same thing, yeah.
Right.
It's very.
So just saying, if you happen to open this up with a voice real fast, I'm so sorry to put you on the spot. If you happen to do,
wait? Well, I'll ask you this: because I've done some new ones, but I don't want to tell you who any of them are. Name anyone, and I'll see if I can do them.
Matt Damon.
I can't do Matt Damon.
I'm just kidding. I'm such a dick. Colin
You're
Farrell.
not a dick.
Colin Farrell.
Can't do Colin Farrell.
God, you tell me. Honestly, you're Vince Vaughn.
No. Well,
Vince Vaughn is.
I do this thing at stand-up now where if I'm. Well, I do it, I guess, enough, whether the show's going good or not, where I'll just go like, all right, yell somebody out and I'll see if I can do them.
Sure.
And so that was sort of a way of me figuring out who people...
Oh, what they wanted to hear.
Or not, what they wanted to hear, but who they were familiar with enough to shout out at random.
Yeah.
Because I did Seth Rogen forever, and then he didn't have. I mean, obviously, he was hugely successful with everything. 40-Year-Old Virgin, Knocked Up, everything. Right, Freaks and Geeks. But I think only people of a certain age knew who he was. And I remember after he did the one with James Franco about North Korea.
Yes, The Dictator.
No, that was
the
the one.
interview.
The interview. Thank you.
Just kidding.
I
knew there was a the.
Yeah.
I knew there was
you
a
got
the
you
there.
got the first half right.
Yeah, totally.
The Downfall of Sony was the alternative title to that movie. So,
Yes, that's it.
Yes. Goodbye, Sony.
Good.
Farewell. And but everyone sort of knew who he was because he was on the news. So then I asked them people. I'd be like, I'll do Seth Rogen. And then everyone in Canada sort of knew who he was because he was Canadian.
Oh, yeah.
Or he is Canadian. He was and still is. And so I'll do Vince Vaughn.
I'm going to talk to you. Let me ask you something, man. I like the energy happening right now. I like the Superman kind of thing right there. Let me say, who gets the Superman mug? You know what I'm talking about? Is it a Clark Kent kind of guy? Is it a guy trying to tell people like, oh, I'm not Superman? Is it a guy who's like, hey, I actually am Superman, but I'm trying to hide it. I'm trying to hide it right here. So the only way that I can do that is to buy the Superman merchandise because they're never going to think the guy is actually Superman is going to have the Superman merchandise. They're like, Clark, are you a fan of Superman? Nice. I like it. It's like they never think that Clark is Superman because it's like, why would a guy who is Superman have all the merch that he is Superman? You know what I'm talking about?
Let me just say, holy crap. That just put me in like the best mood ever. That's like natural, just endorphins.
Thank you. Can I ask you why the Superman mug?
Sure. So I'm a big fan of Superman.
Got it.
Superman, of course, 1938, Jerry Siegel, Joe Shuster, was created in what city? Ding, 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 Cleveland, where I'm from. Very important to remember that Superman did come out of Cleveland. And even though Marvel loves to use our city to film movies like Avengers, I would think it'd be great someday to actually use Cleveland for Cleveland and not pretend like it's New York or somewhere else.
Yes.
Not that I'm saying you shouldn't be shooting in Cleveland at all, but they have amazing tax breaks and make it very friendly to shoot and film.
A lot of malls that have no that are abandoned.
A lot of abandoned malls. Downtown Tower City Mall is not abandoned, but that was also used in the what was it? The Scott Wolf hit Double Dragons, which came out in. Do you remember that? Early mid-90s?
I believe it was Double Dragon.
Maybe it's Double Dragon.
It's off of the video game?
Yes, off the video game.
Double Dragon.
Billy and Jimmy.
Yes.
Kogashuko.
Who was the other guy? It was Scott Wolf and...
It's the guy who was just in John Wick 3.
Keanu Reeves.
No, close. So good. He was doing Bill and Ted's at the time. I forget who.
They're only letting you do one buddy thing at a time.
Yeah,
you know?
he's one of the cool...
You're done.
He's a really, he's an amazing actor, amazing martial artist. I'm just blanking on his name.
Cool.
But he was the other one. Clearly this.
Well, I love when they used to make video games into movies.
Yeah.
Because
Super Mario Brothers.
Well, that was the big one because that was, I guess the similarity was they were plumbers.
Right.
Him and John Leguizamo, Bob Hoskins. But that was not
that just kind of came out of, No. The whole trust the fungus.
It was like, don't try to make Super Mario a real thing.
It was trying to, you don't have to make it, you don't have to justify it.
No, it's like Sonic the Hedgehog.
We don't have to know how he became a hedgehog or where he came from.
Why is he fast? He came from another place. He's here now.
Yeah.
Give me them coins.
Give me them coins. So real quick, it is MLK Day. So I do want to say this is one of my favorite quotes from MLK, just to bring in a little serious moment here, just to honor a great American. We have the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands at times of challenge and controversy. I love that quote, and I find that it's kind of similar to what we do a lot of times in bad dates, maybe a little bit, where I try to think that the worse and worse something was, that's awesome because I'm weathering the storm. So therefore, I've earned something, making it more dramatic, making it a bit more terrible and horrid. Before we get into your stories, whatever you'd like to talk about, I would like to read a little something here. This is from Nikki Nelson at thesinglesociety.com. As I said last week, I found this blog online. I absolutely love it because it's just terrible, bad dating stories told. So I thought I would bring us in here a little bit with this. Whilst I should have been hard at work one afternoon, I began casually scrolling through my unanswered and mostly uninteresting Hinge messages. Hinge, did you ever use that?
I do.
Right? So my friends used to joke when I'd be like, yeah, I'm using Hinge. They'd be like, oh, that thing you're hanging by? All right. Caught my attention. A man named Grayson. Little did I know I was about to embark upon the weirdest Hinge date ever. I'm not into this whole dating app thing. You seem very nice, so let me know if you'd like to grab drinks and we can decide if we like each other. Wow, just meet up, get it done, right? Rip
Yep.
off the Band-Aid. Is that your MO?
You have to. But I would say that most people don't read. Not because they're illiterate. They might be. But I think that most people, if they like the way you look...
Sure, it's Pictionary.
Yeah, exactly. It's guess who. You know, it's like you're knocking down faces and you're going that guy or that girl. And so that's why I think I think that you may get points for being clever in a bio or like,
Sure.
you know, from like a thing. But at the end of the day, I feel like if you like the way someone looks a lot of times, like you know, Bumble.
Oh, yeah.
Of course you do. We're talking to do a Venus right
The women
here.
talk to you first.
Exactly.
Or as I used to call it, another excuse for a woman to never sleep with me.
Sponsored by.
So,
But that's the thing. When they have when they have to take the initiative, because that's the way the algorithm for the app works.
right.
9 times out of 10, I'll get a stock thing like, what do you like more, horror or comedy movies?
Right.
But it's like, is that really going to tell you anything about me?
Doesn't tell you
No.
jack shit.
Or hey, what's up? Because I think that women are equally as bad at making the first move as men are.
Sure.
It's just I enjoy the sort of the thing about Hinge. Going back to it, is that you sort of have to tell people about you because you answer these questions, and then
Right.
people then like that thing.
Oh.
So I actually think that because then I wrote some like nonsense. My Hinge profile is literally utter nonsense. But I will say I probably get the most amount of responses from Hinge than I do on any other dating app.
Really?
Yeah.
You heard it from Jonathan Kite, folks. He gets responses on Hinge. Get on it.
Hashtag ad.
Hashtag at Jonathan Kite. If you like to grab drinks, we can decide if we like each other. Wow. No back and forth monotony. No attempt to be a pen pal only to be inevitably ghosted. How splendid indeed. I accept. I walked up to a charming cafe bar not far from my place of employment and found Grayson patiently awaiting my arrival. Grayson was marginally robust with a boyish grin and a slight gap between his incisors. Raised in Utah, he had recently relocated to begin his fledgling career in accounting after completing his MBA. Perhaps he was a few pounds heavier than advertised. Hey, we've all been there. But considering I'm not exactly the poster child for fitness myself, I decided to keep an open mind. There we go. A lot of people don't do that. We got to chatting about our dogs. Of course you do. The bothersome habits of our prospective roommates. Hey, we've been there. And our mutual penchant for people watching. Hey, it's like the story of what we do. I began to inquire about the timeline of his upbringing, education, etc. Grayson informed me that he took a job for a while subsequent to getting his undergraduate degree, but after completing his master's, he was forced to take a bit of a hiatus. Forced to take a hiatus. Grayson then disclosed he is a recovering pornography addict and how his debilitating addiction to porn caused him to lose his job. He explained how he would call in sick constantly and was caught lying about having a serious medical condition because he was so obsessed with staying at home and watching porn. This guy's living the dream. Grayson continued, despite the look on my face, onto how he was kicked out of the apartment he shared with his ex-girlfriend because he was unable to engage in sexual activity without being completely fixated on his TV screen. Jeez. Not to mention his savings ran out, you would think, and he couldn't afford his portion of the rent. Hashtag adulting. Finally, he spent a total of 2 months in a clinic being treated for sex addiction with a relapse in between, and he is currently still in therapy to repair his ability to have a healthy relationship with sexual intimacy. Sorry, was that a little too much baggage for a first date, he asked. I thanked him for his honesty, finished my peach Bellini, and engaged in an awkward embrace as he bid me farewell. Grayson never asked to see me again, but most likely because he already knew the answer. Sex addiction.
Yeah. Why we're really here.
I dated a sex addict once. Not as much fun as you think. And by date, I mean we went out on a couple dates, and I was totally infatuated, and I thought this would lead to further things.
To sex?
Yeah. Ironically, dating a sex addict, they don't always just want to have sex with you. It's sex for the wrong reasons. It's sex with other reasons, other people, other stuff. It's very confusing.
Yeah.
Plus, I keep going back and forth. Is sex addiction a real thing?
I mean, I think you could be addicted to anything because you're
How you're dealing with something?
your behavior, but also internally, chemically, that you become dependent on something emotionally, you become obsessive.
Yeah.
And so it's all habitual. So that your body it's how I think people in dating get addicted to people or the idea of something.
Yeah.
So then when they're not there, they miss sort of the pacifier. And so their body, they drip dopamine in or whatever, or their serotonin levels spike. But the truth is, so they miss the memory of that person, or they miss the idea of that person or something. And so they become addicted to that idea, or trying to find someone that looks like that, and then, or who has similar behaviors to that, or something, instead of sort of being like, realizing that you were as different of a person with when you were with them as you have the opportunity to be when you find someone else. So it's like, because there's like psychology of it, where I was actually helping a friend through a breakup recently, which was like the greatest thing that ever happened to him. And I said to him, if the research, and I am obsessed with psychology. Like, I took a ton of psychology courses in college, and I'm always like, I just love reading clinical studies. And what they say about dating is, let's say like we were dating and then you broke up with me, and I try to get back with you, but for the most part, you can only then see me as a certain way. So that I see you as something to obtain, and you see me. I mean, listen, nothing is 100%, but that like you have to then come at from a different way. So like, he was still living in the past and saying, oh, I want to date this person that no longer wants me. And I go, yeah, she isn't interested in the person that you were. So like, if you aren't something new, she's not going to go back. Oh. So I think that we can turn anything into an addiction.
Yeah. Look at that. You just dropped a huge dose of truth. I don't know if I was old enough for that.
You will be.
Where was that 7 years ago? I could have used that.
I ripped off the mask. I'm you.
Yeah. But you've always lived here.
You've been here all along.
I'm sorry.
Glinda.
Jeez.
You had the chance all
What do
along.
you mean?
Why? I'm like an old man though when I do. My voice is too deep to do. People always ask me if I do female voices.
Do you do female?
And I don't, because my voice is how you say you're getting over a man cold.
Yeah.
My voice, I always describe it as I sound like the first half of a NyQuil ad. That I can never get better.
what's up?
So I go in for like these auditions where it's like, hey man, I'm like totally sick right now. They're like, great. Now he takes the NyQuil and now he's better. I'm like, man, I feel better. They're like, you sound worse. So that's my life.
Next. Sorry. All right. Sex addiction.
By the way, you know how we know that scenario we just did was fake was because they apologized for not giving me the job.
Oh, yeah. No, they never apologize. It's always, auditions are fun.
Yeah.
You get a good little relationship with some of the casting directors.
Yeah.
Other people, they're like, get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here.
Get the.
Hey, great to see you. Yeah, get the hell out of my face.
Oh yeah.
I actually, that's a lie. I haven't seen anyone be super rude. My favorite is when there's a big line of people. You're all auditioning for something. It's LA. We're all trying to get somewhere else.
Yeah.
No one's there specifically for that at 5:45.
Everyone's at a truck stop.
And then some actor will just be a dick and just go, oh, really? Well, I couldn't park outside. And you're like, this guy's going to piss off everybody.
We're all living in this reality.
And we're all going to get screwed because of this jackass. You know what I mean? And you just go up and you're like, hey, are you still single? They're like, yeah. I'm like, couldn't tell.
Never trust the room. That's the best piece of advice I ever got out here.
Never trust the room.
In terms of like don't decide that you did or didn't get the job based on anything.
No, you can't tell. You know how many times you hear the words like, hey, see you on set. Like, see you at the Crafty. And you're like,
they're like, no, we thought you worked for Postmates. We were going to call you.
Panda Express. So you grew up in Skokie, Illinois.
Yes.
Great place.
Great place.
You went back, you did a stand-up special at your high school.
I did.
Which is pretty freaking awesome.
It was cool.
That's got to be a dream.
It was.
Why don't you tell a little bit about that real quick?
It was called my Back to School special. And it was, I literally went back to my high school and there were 2 shows in the auditorium, 1,000 seats. And it was like, this is your life. I mean, my 7th grade science teacher, shout out Miss Markey.
Oh, yeah, Miss Markey.
You know her.
Come on.
It was crazy because in a good way, some people, Miss Markey was very young when she first started teaching when I was in her class. And so she was still teaching. Like a lot of these people were still teaching. and
No
a lot of
kidding.
them still worked at the junior high or the high school, and a lot of people that I grew up with still live in that town.
Oh, that's so cool.
So it was great.
When did you do that?
I did it a couple years ago. My biggest problem was, which it taught me a very valuable lesson.
Yeah.
People are like, hey, when can I see this? You can't. Because what I realized was doing a stand-up special about things that were current events based so specifically and of the moment.
Oh, sure.
So I was doing a Trump impression before he was before he was the nominee. I had been doing these jokes about just people in politics and sort of like talking heads. And I did Rush Limbaugh, and I'd done like Obama, and I had done. And the craziest thing was for me to do Trump. The moment I sort of did this stuff in my special, very proud of the material. I believe in it. He got the nomination. And then everyone started doing Trump material. And so it felt hack. And then I realized that there was so much of the special that didn't, speaking of callback, hinged on it, that everything was connected because you want to have good connectivity and transition. So I tried to cut it out, and like the other half didn't make sense. Well, it just didn't make sense because that was sort of the midpoint of the thing.
Yeah.
And it was very problematic that way. And so I have sort of resigned because I'm doing a new hour right now.
Cool.
That has nothing to do with stuff that's on page one. Nothing. I mean, it's hopefully stuff that's more timeless. It's about us as a culture right now, and not like a specific moment.
Okay.
Which I think was a mistake. It was a learning curve, and
Right.
and it was very exhausting and costly. But it was one of those things where it sort of taught me. And playing 1,000 seats is very different than playing. And I played pretty large clubs before,
Yeah.
But to play 1,000 seats back to back, and the second show I think was an hour and a half.
Oh, whoa.
It's a different energy.
Yeah.
There's rolling laughter, and you have to really your pauses have to be different.
Yeah. It's a beast.
It is. It's great. But I had such an amazing time in Niles North High School, where I went to high school. They couldn't have been more accommodating, and it was a wonderful. And the guy who ran the choir department ran the sound booth.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, it was great. He was so sweet. And,
Choir teachers are the best.
yeah, and my acting coach, director at the time, Tim Ortman, still there. Amazing guy. He helped make the whole thing happen.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Good for you. Now, look, Jonathan, we want to go into some bad dates.
Got it.
This is not a therapy session. I am not a registered person to help anyone. And
I'm glad you said a registered person
you
to
wanna
help
say
anyone
because
it's like nobody uses the word register unless it's sex offender.
Right.
I'm
I
not
just
a
realized
registered
that.
person.
I'm not a registered person. to. Can you tell how much my fiance has to put up with? Where like I switch words or I say things around, and then she's my translator. So unfortunately, I don't have my translator for the show. But you're doing it. You're the Greek chorus. Thank you so much.
I'm here for you.
You're on a roll. So as I said, clearly I can't help anybody, mostly myself. But if you'd like to talk about some bad dates, and feel free to blame.
Well, so
free
I
to
appreciate
say whatever you'd like.
the person who you read the sex addiction blog by.
Yeah.
Because I think that the biggest thing about we treat dating apps like we treat social media. And social media is a produced reality. And I think that there isn't as much effort. Like obviously when you meet on a date, you're presenting your best self.
Right.
Not necessarily the truth, but your best version.
What you would like to exist.
What you think will catch a fish.
Oh.
The best bait that you can be,
It's true.
and then obviously there's cracks in the foundation, and then people kind of go, oh, but they like you for not necessarily lies, but they like the effort that you've put in.
Sure.
That you're that you want to be your best version, because it's still you. It's
Right.
still, there's nothing, unless you flat out lie, and that's just sociopathic.
Like a catfish. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about that. So,
It's a whole other sick puppy.
which we will get to in a second. And the thing that I think with dating apps that I've had, the bad dates that I've gone on have always been from a dating app. Because I think that people, whatever your Instagram is, and a lot of people use it as a business tool.
Yeah.
And so people, if you're like selling fit tea, which I'm not, people are looking at this. They never have to look at anything except your photoshopped photos to buy fit tea, right? There's no second act to that play.
Yeah.
If you like the way this person looks, you think that you can be that way, not thinking about the lighting or their other diet or anything that goes into it. That's on you to buy the fit tea, right? So then they're suggesting it to you, just like happy families who aren't completely obese that eat KFC every day are suggesting to you that heart disease won't follow, just good times with one and all, that that's on you. But dating apps, once you produce a reality and you put that together and then you then move forward to catch someone, catfish, and then you show up and you're a completely different person, then I think my brain goes, what else are you not telling the truth about?
Oh, yeah.
And so I think that only because that person brought it up, I think weight is probably the biggest thing. But I'm going to go even further. We are all holding in our hands at all times, we are obsessed, addicted society to a camera. But somehow most people's photos are not current. And I would say that a lot of them, there was a woman on Bumble who I appreciated, held up a something where she was like, that last photo was from Post Malone, da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, awesome. So that is a current photo, swipe right, never heard back from her. Anyway, most people, I feel like they decided, it's like how guys dress, and this is not my joke, but I think it's so true. Guys dress the way the last year they thought they were cool. So like you see a lot of these guys from not necessarily small towns, but like football heroes who won the big game, whatever it was, and they're dressing like they were in high school. By the way, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
And by the way, mullets are cool.
You want to be that guy? Be that guy.
Be that guy. You know who Theo Vaughn is, the comic?
No.
He's a G. You should look him up. He's such a sweet dude. That mofo rocks a mullet, and he looks amazing.
Theo Vaughn.
So I'm saying anything can be made cool. And by the way, you don't have to. Your life you're living it for yourself. You don't have to live it for any other reason. But I will say, if you're going to represent yourself as and hopefully your bio is a current representation of you. But then when people show up and you're like, there's no way. Like this bio, you're clearly checking this bio because you swiped. And I went on a date with somebody one time who was terribly nice. But it threw me so much how she didn't look like the person in her photos. I just couldn't get over it. And it wasn't like an age thing or a weight thing. It was just like, that ain't you. And it was just
boy.
And so
was it her from like 10 years ago? Or was it her just like a really good angle? Like getting her face?
I'm not sure. One of those was not her. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I know that one of them was from 10 years ago.
Okay.
And that is a fact. And, but it was so weird. And I don't think, I was as kind about it as I possibly could. I didn't bring it up. Instead of like, hey, weird question. Do you have a time machine? Or like, no, just because and here's the thing. She was an attractive person, but it was clearly a different, and not even like this was from a couple years ago, my bad.
Sure.
This was from like a different generation.
Oh, yeah.
Like, is this a picture that your grandmother had to sit through for 45 minutes while the exposure went? Like, this ain't you.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, and this is from a different time.
Sure.
You know, is this person wearing an I like Ike button? Like, come on, this is old. And it got to the point where I just thought that was so weird. And so by the way, I'm very like conscious and aware. And like that person said, there's obviously, you're not going to look exactly like the photos.
Sure.
But I thought that was just such a weird thing that it was like, it felt a little bit like a catfish.
A little bit. And then they're waiting for you to say something, and then if you say something, they go, well, clearly it's just all about how I look. And you're like, well, clearly you're not
We're not starting from a place of
Yeah,
truth.
to be what you advertise.
For sure.
Big thing.
And by the way, that's okay. Like, I enjoy the way that I look, and I always say that I'm at the precipice of what, like, if you're any worse looking than me, you can't be on TV. I'm like, it's like this.
I
know
don't
what
believe
mean?
that.
No,
I don't believe that to be true.
Close.
You're a very good-looking guy. Fashionable. Plus, you're taller.
I would do well.
You do the voices. You're
right.
crushing it.
So I would crush it in the radio dating app. No one. I could do like testimonials from people. Jason Statham being like,
All right, sweetheart, let me tell you something right here. You're going to want to go out with this guy. He's got a hog the size of the Titanic, and it definitely goes down.
you know, whatever Jason Statham says.
I get giddy as a schoolgirl when he does the voices. I
You must do you do voiceover, don't you?
Nah.
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 That's also my Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
Nah. No, 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 no. When was the last time you saw The Burbs, by the way? I asked this way too much of people. That movie is so fucking funny. It's so funny. It's like that and Big are my two favorite Tom Hanks movies.
Love Big. I've actually never seen The Burbs.
Oh,
can you see how I'm...
Adam!
Can you yell at me as Tom Hanks and tell me to ask?
Oh, Adam, come on, guys. Adam, don't look away. Don't look away.
My father does this thing when he's mad at me. He repeats my name like 6 or 7 times.
Adam.
Oh, yeah.
Adam. My Tom Hanks impression is from
That's it.
The Burbs, because at the end, or like, there's not giving anything away. He just is like, just yelling to the world, and I remember hearing that. Oh, I love The Burbs. Anyway,
The Burbs. Let me ask you this, because you've
away.
been like when you were on TV. Did you notice a huge jump in like your online dating app game?
I didn't
So
do it.
You weren't trying to date at all when you were on TV.
I was, but I'll tell you, I went out a lot more, and I think that's sort of I know this sounds crazy, but it's true. I didn't start using dating apps until because what I realized was I was already going out. I was already meeting so many people, and I think that I realized that if and when I do like go through a spurt where I go on dating apps, it's because I'm usually at home, or I have to like stay in and work on stuff that I don't get to go out. But when I was on Broke Girls, like, you know, and obviously Beth is one of your best friends, like we got invited to effing everything. And so even if I felt like I was, and she would tell you this because she and Kat were such workhorses.
Oh, yeah.
They stayed in on the weekends and like, what did you do? And I was like, oh my God, you don't even want to know. I swam with dolphins on Neptune and like, because I just, you know, I would go out and there was all this stuff constantly going on.
Sure. I think that's every guy's half fantasy there for a second, just to be like, I'm on a hit TV show. I'm going to be on dating apps. Like every woman's just going to be blowing up my phone. And then I have a feeling after about 2 to 3 months, you'd start going, I'd like to scale this back now.
Can I tell you I had a dating app. This was, I don't even remember this was, I guess a few years ago, but this woman swiped on me, lovely girl, and we were chatting back and forth, and then I'm like, here's my number. She's like, we're texting. And then she just, out of the blue, she just was like, you're not him. And I swear to God, I was like this. I said, what do you mean? I mean, I knew what she meant, but I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to be argumentative. So I was like, you know, trying to.
Then that can get used against you.
Opening a dialogue, Your Honor. And, so I said, what do you mean? And she goes, well, you are a catfish. There's no way you're Jonathan Kite. And I said,
this is amazing.
Can you, I said, and I was like, I could, number one, make sense, right? Like I'm sure, but number two,
absolutely. What
can I do to prove to you that I am him? So I sent her a baby photo, and she was like, oh, I guess maybe. And in my head, I go, I could have gone on Jonathan Kite's Instagram, screenshot a baby photo, and just sent it your way.
Now you're thinking like crazy.
That was weird, because then she was like, oh, I guess it is you.
Doesn't prove shit.
Nothing.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
You got any baby photos I could use?
Yeah.
Let me do that. So let's
Adam, you look like a young Jonathan Kite when you were a baby.
I feel like one. All right, let's get moving along here. Jeff, how are we doing on time here? We okay?
Yeah, we got
Is
about
that it?
10 minutes.
10?
Is that clock? Not on. It's not on the screen.
The clock didn't go, but you know what? We're
right.
having such a time. Tempest
we are.
Fugits, Jeff.
Yes.
Let's do a little red flags here. So red
Got it.
flags, the way it works, you're going to read each card out loud, and then
By the way, can I just say something right now? This is a missed opportunity. We're leaving money on the table. Okay? Oh, there's the thank you, Clyde. We're leaving money on the table. Bumble needs to come out with B condoms where they say, cover your prick. I mean, we're just leaving money on the table, Bumble. All right, sorry, go ahead.
you should talk to her. I
I
think
would love
it's
to.
a woman who owns Bumble, right? She owns it. She started it with a guy. They broke up. She kept Bumble.
I like Bumble, by the way. I would say
I like it too.
that's my favorite
When
of
I
the dating
dated,
apps.
Bumble was a great top one.
I appreciate the woman that you have to make a move, but I like that, and I think that's cool.
Otherwise, yeah, you just feel like it's just an army of dick pics going anywhere else. You're just like, hey, what's up? You're trying to talk to someone else, and you're like, yeah,
Well, that's the other
I'm
thing.
one of 300.
And it's like I'd rather like talk to somebody and be and you as well, very charming. I think we have a good amount of charm to us.
Sure.
And
We had to, John.
and to
We had to.
I know with this
Growing up,
bordering on
you
TV
kidding?
face. Are you
I
kidding
peaked
me?
14. I was
my.
this height.
You
That
look,
was it.
But you look 14. You got a great look
Thank
about
you.
you.
Well, you know, what can I say?
You could I feel like you could be not now because they're a little weird with like Disney and shit about how they're like actual kids, but when we were growing up,
Yeah.
you could play high school still.
Sure. One
Like
Tree
right,
Hill.
no, you right
now,
high school
with a little bit of this salt
No, no.
and pepper in the chin.
No, I'm saying you shave that beard.
You shave it.
Shave it.
Yeah, my height.
You are a junior in high school in the 90s.
Yeah. Is he Dustin Hoffman about to turn 20? We don't know.
No, the spiky hair, the glasses.
hair, the
I mean, come on.
glasses.
You're
He's
the
got-
guy who does the PA announcements every morning.
Hey guys, tries to get it like with the hot girl in school.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's not going to be with him? She's going to be with the other guy.
Well, we don't know that. Don't spoil it. Don't binge the.
So anyway,
Guys, we lost the pitch.
I'm
All right.
sorry. We're playing a little red flag.
Do it.
Speaking of flags,
I'm not
So what we
looking.
do is we read each one out loud, and then we pick, in the words of Step Brothers, our bugaboo,
Bugaboo.
the absolute one that we cannot deal with.
Yeah.
So since you're our guest, would you like to go first?
Why not? So just flip them all over.
Flip them all over. You read them one by one.
Okay.
And you give us an insight.
Refuses to wash hands.
Oh boy.
Responds to everything you say with "That's what she said." Won't allow Wi-Fi in the house.
What the hell?
So you're asking me which one I can't do without?
Which one you can't do without?
Refuses to wash hands.
Really?
It wasn't even close.
The Wi-Fi?
I don't give a shit. You know why? Because if I'm enjoying her company, we shouldn't be on our phones anyway.
Look at you.
But
Look
if you don't
at
wash
you.
your hands, and I'm going to tell you something. My ex-girlfriend, you don't know her. One time, I have OCD, and but not insane. I used to have a real I used to be that person who had to wash their hands 100 times
Sure.
and shit, you know, and that was
some
for
real
real.
aviator shit.
Oh, I wish I
That
had
you
his
in the
money.
bathroom? Yeah.
No, but I
Then
still
you can be as big a freak as you want.
exactly, and I still do wear Kleenex boxes on my feet.
Give me the mason jars.
So here, this woman that I was going out with, I asked her because my bathroom is semi close to my bedroom.
Got it.
And I was sure that she wasn't washing her hands after she used the bathroom.
Too quick.
And I
Too
was
quick to
like,
turn around?
and I said to her one time, and she's like, "Are you listening?" And then I wanted to be like, "Hey, don't answer a question with a question. Are you not? Don't do that."
That's how you deflect.
Yeah. By the way, that's
That's like, are
come
you
on, that
cheating
is-
on me? And then they go, did you go through my purse?
Hold
like,
on.
if you cheated.
Ask me, and I'll
Yeah.
be that.
Wait, are you listening to me?
No, the cheating.
Wait, hey, are you cheating on
Are
me?
you cheating on me? Yeah. It's a
Oh,
little too fast.
gaslighting, that's good.
There you go.
Yeah, I got it.
And that's what that was.
Okay.
Oh, you
Wait,
watching
can we try it one more
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
Just so I've... Hey,
What's up?
I don't know how to say this.
Adam, just out with it. Your mom was right about you.
Look, are you cheating on me?
Are you cheating on me?
What the? That's not an answer.
Well, you first.
No,
One, two, three.
Are-
You cheating on me? Ooh, you hesitated. You definitely are. I'm packing up my shit.
See what just happened? So, boys and girls, if you're listening, Jonathan was the cheater. I was not.
No,
but he was so good
Yeah.
at getting me to think maybe it
You
was
know
me.
who the impression of that was? Johnny Cochran.
So,
Got out of it. Man, is he right. He was good at that. All right.
you know what I mean? Okay.
You know what I mean?
So,
What I'm talking about?
mine is isn't potty trained. She wear diapers. How's that work? We got to know. We don't know. Has plexiglass cheeks so that you can see inside their mouth. Could be both really disgusting and really fun. Celibate.
Wow. Wait a minute. She's not potty trained? That means that if she sleeps over, she could literally shit the bed?
I think she'll have a diaper. Or celibate. What do you want? Do you want shit the bed or do you want never sleeps with you?
I want to know why this woman is not a virgin, but hasn't learned to take off the diapers.
Here's the question. If she's celibate, if she just says, like, I can't have sex, does that mean she can still
Forever?
I mean, if she's saying I'm celibate.
Oh, then no, that can't do that one.
But my question is she allowed to give me a hand job? Like, or are things on the menu off for me?
Like butts?
So... It's because you're like... No butt stuff.
Did you hear about that, by the way, in the Mormon community? For real.
Oh, they tell you it's okay.
No, they were like, they can't have vaginal sex. So
Right.
a lot of the college students were doing butt stuff.
Doing butt stuff.
Yeah.
Keeping it safe.
Yeah.
Keeping it for Jesus.
Yeah, oh, sure.
You got to do what you got to
Parking
do.
in the rear.
I guess I'd have to go with celibate.
Yeah.
Although it sounds like a nice, intriguing experiment to try
Well,
for
I
a couple
want to say
months.
something. What do you see in this girl, by the way, that she has plexiglass face and shits herself? Like, you must really be into this girl.
You know, sometimes
These three, this is like a human, by the way, right? Like, refuses to watch the hand, the Wi-Fi, and that's what she said. Got it. So she likes The Office. Okay?
Yeah.
We've dated the girls like that. Won't allow Wi-Fi in the house. You know what? I like that she's about human connection. Refuses to wash hands. I mean, come on, because you think like the government is in our soap
what
dispensers?
else aren't you doing? You know what freaks me out? I have to say, I feel shitty because I feel like it's such a stupid LA thing. If I see a person with tons of dandruff in their hair and they kind of look at me, and here's the thing, hair is hair, right? We all have our pain in the ass things to deal with. You get older, you're so grateful to have your hair.
This is a full toupee.
God bless it. Yeah, full thing, right? But sometimes I'm just like, if you miss that, what else did you miss?
So I have this argument all the time. Not argument, I should say discussion.
You argue with yourself?
Well, if there's no one else around, I'll do it. I'm lonely. Here's the thing. Dirty and messy are two different things.
Okay.
Because there's people who are you gotta be clean. Like messy
clean.
you can deal with.
Right.
But when people are dirty and stuff is just like dirty and like smelly.
Like hoarder, yeah.
Yeah, I
gets
just
really-
no.
That's the
That wasn't here, by the way.
But if that was...
I'm adding it.
No, I see it.
No,
You're squirming in
that
the
is a
seat right
red
now.
flag. That is actually a green flag for me to go and get the fuck out of there because I can't believe it. And women, by the way, I feel for because men are way smellier than girls.
Oh yeah,
or women.
Men, we
Girls,
just get worse.
Why did I say that?
We just get worse as we get older.
Yeah, but me, I'm a 2 showers a day kind of guy.
Look at you, Jeff. On that note, would you like to read your red flags?
I would love to, Adam. Let's see what I've got. I have writes erotic lassie fan fiction. We'll revisit that one.
Here, girl.
Describes all food as yummy yummers and teleports to the North Pole every time they say the word love. Okay, so I don't hate describing food as yummy yummers because, I don't know, I just feel like there's something kind of funny about that.
Justin Bieber's doing it right now.
Nice. Teleports to the North Pole every time they say the word love. I feel like the way you could monetize that superpower means that this person could be very wealthy. Like, I feel like if that was the case, you are a superhero, even if your superpower is very useless, which seems like it would make you money or make you famous. So that could be used to our advantage. Writing erotic lassie fan fiction, Two Cats like for me. Saw that movie, haven't slept since. That's my red flag.
Huh. I feel like those are all, I could live with any of those.
Totally. Yeah, none of them are that bad.
Yeah, you are dating, in this scenario, Adam, an alien.
So this, has a functioning tail. Tongue splits in two like
Yeah.
a snake. Like just little things like.
Yours are like, denies the Holocaust.
Jeez.
like-
I couldn't bring that
No,
home.
but that one is like, by the way, you and I, we had very normal ones.
Totally.
Very like.
Doable.
Yes. Yours were like Holocaust denier, like only has like a murders every third person they meet. It's
David
like, what?
Duke's her father. Great.
Drink the Kool-Aid. It's like, come on.
Says things like consent isn't real.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
Every day is opposite day. It's like, I don't know what day it is.
Come on. Don't worry, Jeff. We're going to wrap it up here soon. Jonathan, real quick, can I get F, Marry, Kill from you? We're going to go back to the 90s because we're 90s babies.
Yeah, we are.
Baywatch, I know, always did it for me. Yasmin Bleeth, Pamela Anderson, Carmen Electra, F, Marry, Kill, Baywatch. edition.
Yasmin Bleeth, Mary.
Oh, yeah.
Who were the other two? Carmen Electra
Carmen
and
Electra and Pamela Anderson.
Pamela Anderson. I'm gonna say definitely have sex or fuck because Carmen Electra, and then I would say kill Pamela Anderson.
There we go. You heard it here first. All right, so real quick.
And last,
before we
probably.
get first and last, any handles you'd like to throw out there?
At Jonathan Kite and at Kites of the Round Table is my podcast.
Beautiful. Guys, this is at Horribly Hollywood Single. Be sure to check us out on Apple iTunes. Like the podcast, subscribe, rate. Check us out on YouTube. Want to leave you all here with something today as the season finale of season 1 here wraps up of Horribly Hollywood Single. Dating is like waking up in the middle of the night to pee and tripping over something en route to the bathroom. Dating in LA, just like that. But when you trip, you break your leg and pee all over yourself. I'm Adam Carr, telling you stay horrible, stay single. Hey, we don't judge, and special thanks again to Jonathan Kite for being here with us today. Thank you, and Jeff Graham in the booth. We love you guys. Good night.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.